Bald eagles, you know, the eagles.
He's looking at me.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing out there today, huh?
Good.
That good? Oh, come on, now, you can do better than that. Let me hear you. How you doing, huh? I'm just making sure you guys are awake out there. My name is Eric. I want to welcome you to the island. I don't think you guys could have picked a better day to come out here. It's gorgeous today. I am a herpetologist here on the island. That's not contagious. Right? What that means is that I take care of all the reptiles around here. Herpetology is the science of those animals. And well, it was kind of a new study. About 30 or 40 years ago, there's very little that we knew about these creatures. But it's kind of neat. The more we find out about them, the more we find that they're a pretty interesting group of animals. So I'm going to give you all some of the information we know about them today. Now, they've been around a pretty long time. Obviously, the days of the dinosaurs, that was their real heyday. But there's still about 7,000 different kinds of them right now. And kind of for convenience sake, we've divided reptiles up into 4 groups, or 4 main categories. Now, I'm going to get a little audience participation here from you guys. What comes to mind when I say reptiles? Can you all name the groups? Snakes, of course, is one. Personal favorite? Lawyers?
Lizard.
Oh, lizards, okay. Yeah, turtles and tortoises and terrapins, we call those the shell reptiles. More.
Big gators.
Dinosaurs running around. One more. Think a little bit, you have it back there, somebody?
Alligators.
Okay, snakes, alligators, crocodiles, and some others. They're lumped together into one big group that we call the crocodilians, which, that's a Latin word, loosely translated. It means bad attitude, okay? So let's see, we got the snakes, the lizards, the crocodilians, and the shell reptiles. And as you can see back behind me here, well, we've got packages marked from places all over the world. I'm going to take you guys on a little 4-continent journey around the globe. I'm going to introduce you to some reptiles you might not have seen before, from some places that you likely haven't been. Are you all prepared for that?
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to ignore my little friend here anymore. This is Sherman. Sherman is obviously a member of the shell reptile family. Which member is he, though? You guys know? Very good. He is a tortoise. Well, what makes him a tortoise?
A bird who took it
Not necessarily. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with where they live. Bingo. Tortoises are considered to be strictly land dwellers. They've got these big dome-shaped shells like Sherman does, and these real stocky feet, which are great for walking, but they don't do a whole lot for Sherman in the water. In fact, about the only time you'll ever see Sherman in the water is, well, when he's fallen in by accident. It does happen. On the other hand, the turtles, better known as sea turtles, now they spend their whole lives in the oceans. In fact, they get flippers instead of feet, so it's real hard for them to move on land. But they do come out of the water for one thing and one thing only, and that's to do what?
Lay eggs.
Very good, lay their eggs. Now, only half of the turtle population is ever going to emerge from the water. Which half would that be?
Tortoise.
The female half. Just making sure you're paying attention out there. Anyway. It's all part of the job, folks. Never get the idea it's just going to be one of those days. Sherman is what we call an African spur-thighed tortoise, a well-fed African spur-thighed tortoise. And so these animals, they come from North Central Africa, like up in the Sahara region, so it's really hot and dry where they're found. There's a lot of big mammal predators that Sherman needs to worry about. And so to defend himself, obviously he has his shell, that is solid bone that you're looking at there. But also, on the fronts of the legs, you guys can see these big bony plates, right there. And if he feels threatened from the front end, it's easy enough for him to just pull his head in, pull those front feet up tightly against the shell, as such. There we go. I think you can see there's nothing that's going to get in there without a good can opener. Or out for that matter. On the back end here, you guys can see these little things here. What would you call those? Okay, just kind of keep in mind this is a spur-thighed tortoise. You want to start over? Hi, my name is Eric. Hi, guys. Anybody's getting this on video and sends it to Bob Saget, I get a cut. Anyway, I guess that's a pretty good defense too, if you think about it. Works for me. Anyway, yes, the spurs on the back end, being a spur-thigh tortoise, help protect the back end. Really, there's very few animals that are able to eat tortoises, which is good news for him. But as far as Sherman's diet goes, obviously he does eat quite a bit, mainly grassy material. But on that diet, he can get up to be about 200 pounds, if you can imagine. It's a big tortoise, isn't it? Yeah. That's not the record, though. That isn't even close. That honor goes to some tortoises that live on the Galapagos Islands. Strangely enough, we call those the Galapagos tortoises. And we got some at the beach. You guys been down there yet? No. It's kind of worth a walk down if you haven't been, because the biggest one we have down there is 607 pounds. So needless to say, that's why I've got Sherman up here, and I'm not lugging one of those things around here. Very different kind of show, if you know what I mean. But, I think this particular show, it would have been better. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put Sherman backstage. Hopefully we won't have any other major disasters. All right. We're going to leave Africa behind us, and our next stop is right here in Florida in the Everglades. Any of you guys been down to the Everglades? Yeah. Okay, it's a really beautiful area down there, right? It's a lot of wildlife. Now, being a national park, the Everglades kind of legally protects all of the wildlife that lives within the parks. But this animal in here needed that protection for a while. Right now, they're doing pretty well. I think you guys might recognize this animal. There he is. Oh. Young lady, did you have any idea you were sitting next to such a nasty reptile this whole time? I shouldn't say that, ma'am. I'm sure you're very nice. No. This is Brutus, isn't he cute? Aww. Well, no, he's not real. Actually, you can pick these up in the gift shop on your way out. These little rubber alligators, you seen them? Like $4 at the Thirsty Birds? Wise guy. Okay, he's a real live little baby alligator. How about that? Yeah. This is how they start out. When they're hatched out of their eggs, they're very small. They're only about 7 or 8 inches long. But from that point, they grow fairly quickly and they get pretty big. Now, at this size, we do have a technical term for alligators. It is a German word. The correct pronunciation is ankle biter. But the record length for these animals is 19 feet 2 inches. It's a big alligator, isn't it? So, yeah, Bruce has all that potential wrapped up in him to get that large. But a good average for an adult is still between 12 and 15 feet. It's still a big animal. As far as his diet goes, Brutus will eat just about anything. He's not real picky. Their favorite is fish. They like crustaceans, birds, other reptiles, people. A lot of people. A lot of small mammals like poodles and stuff like that. In fact, they've even been seen eating skunks. It's a rough meal, isn't it? I guess that would only happen like on an alligator dare. Besides all that good stuff, alligators are also scavengers. That kind of makes them important to have around because they've got 2 jobs. Yeah, being a scavenger, well, that kind of puts them on the bottom of the food chain like a vulture or something like that. But they're also one of the top predators around here, so I think we need to do what we can to ensure that these animals have a future. And along those lines, we only hunted them to extinction for their hides. You know, people like to make wallets and belts and stuff out of their skins, but nowadays, thanks to some really serious conservation efforts like commercial farming and the National Park System, that includes the Everglades, they're doing well. Last year, the government did a little census. They said they think there's probably about 2 million alligators just here in Florida. That's kind of got you looking over your shoulder, doesn't it? All right, so let's see. If you do the math, there's about 14 million people living in Florida. 2 million alligators. That's about an alligator for every 7 people. 1, 6, 7. Okay, sir, here you go. There's your alligator. Don't worry, he's not real. All right, well, we are now going to leave the Everglades behind us. Our next stop is halfway around the world. This is a big jump. We're going to Australia next, right? Down under. So everybody say goodbye to our friend Brutus. Bye. See you later.
After a while, crocodile.
It's in the contract. I've got to put it in somewhere. Anyway, Brutus, thank you for coming out. Lucky's breakdancing. Australia. Probably the first thing that comes to mind when I say that is strange creatures, right? The eyes in weird places, and pouches and stuff like that. I'm just talking about the people either. But really, our next stop isn't Australia, but it's some islands just off the coast called the Solomon Islands. But it is, in my opinion, that the Solomons are close enough to Australia that some of that weirdness is kind of rubbed off on them anyway. And I think you guys will see what I mean here in just a second. What's going on? Some kind of... There we go. It's Mr. Yeah. And now for my next magical trick. This is Mr. and Mrs. Curly, the Curly twins, if you will, the original odd couple. Now, they are some kind of strange-looking lizards, but anybody know what they are? What? Skunks. Stinks? Oh, skinks! Absolutely, they are skinks. And, well, folks, check it out. You're not going to believe this. They're called monkey-tailed skinks. It's their one talent, folks. This ain't the bird show. Anyway, yeah, you can see how that tail would come in handy as a little bit of added insurance against falling. They're tree climbers, like iguanas, and chameleons, and those types of lizards. So it's kind of important for them to have. Now, the tail also does have other handy household uses. Say you've just put them through the laundry and you need to hang them out to dry. That's not a problem. You can also make really nice little holiday decorations for this time of year. Just hang them up over the mantle. This makes a really nice little carrying handle for this guy. I like the skink purse. So, anyway, you get the point. Kind of sticky too, aren't they? Anyway, what do you guys think these lizards eat? What's on the menu for them? Bugs? Insects? Curly fries? I tell you what, I'll give you a hint. Check this out. This right here, this is Mrs. Curly. This is full speed for Mrs. Curly. Kind of narrows it down, doesn't it? Yeah. The only thing this lizard can catch is fruit. The fact that this animal had to catch anything faster than leaves and fruit, this animal would starve to death. So that's what this animal eats. Now, the reason I brought these two out here is I'd like to have what we call the world's slowest race. I've got two ropes up here. We're kind of hoping to have this in the Olympics next year. We'll see. But all right, and you guys here get the choice. This is Mr. Curly and this is Mrs. Curly. Which one looks like the winner to you guys? Mrs. Curly. Okay, well, ladies, you will root for Mrs. Curly. She'll be over here. All right, gentlemen, we will root for Mr. Curly over here. Put them even so it's fair and square. Right. Okay, and they're off. It's Mr. and Mrs. Curly out of the starting gates. Look at them go, folks. This is blistering speed here. It's Mrs. Curly by a nose, but Mr. Curly's right behind. Anything could happen here, folks. Including Mr. Curly falling asleep. It's out of gas, too. Well, we got some time to kill here, folks. You want to go on to something else? Yeah. It's going to get really boring really quick. It's a good photo opportunity, if nothing else. All right, well, I tell you what, for my next magical trick, as the saying goes, I'm going to need from the audience a brave, underlined brave, young lady to come up and help me out. Nice try, kid. All right, how about you, miss? How about you come on up here? There she is. Yes, brave is the key word. Right. And how are you doing today, huh? Good. What's your name? Andrea. Come on over here, Andrea. Don't worry about it. All right, I need you to just kind of stand right there and look out at the crowd and show everybody your smiling face. You trust me, don't you, Andrea? Yes. Anyway, Andrea, how do you feel about lizards? Do you like lizards? Yeah? Okay. I've got a really cute little lizard I want to introduce to you all.
Goodness, really getting it done now.
Oh, this is about as non-threatening as they come. This is Henry. Now, Henry is... Yeah, big surprise. All right, a round of applause for the stupid lady lizard. Excuse me one moment. Fired. Henry's called a leopard gecko. I think the name's kind of self-explanatory. And they're found out in the Mideast, like in Pakistan, Iran, Iraq, in that region. And they're ground dwellers, they're burrowers, so their toes have to be a little bit different. You know, most geckos have those sticky toes. You know, they can run up and down a pane of glass without any problem. But yeah, out in the desert where these guys live, having sticky toes wouldn't do much good because there's nothing to climb on out there. So instead, for burrowing, this cute little guy, he's putting that up on your head here. He's got these little teeny tiny razor sharp claws. Okay? Andrea, can you feel him digging in? Yeah. I'll let you know if you start bleeding. Now, let's see. How do you feel about frogs? Do you like frogs? Do you? Know when to stop this. All right. Oh, look at this thing. Yeah, this is Jamba. Jamba the blob. This is an Argentine horned frog. Find them, of course, in Argentina. Now, horned frogs are, we'll put it this way, this is a very small one. These things get up to dinner plate size. Now, right now, Jamba is perfectly capable of eating a fully grown mouse. I mean, look at the size of his mouth right now. Yeah. So if a little guy like this is going to eat mice, a big one is going to eat, what, Volkswagens? No, in fact, in the wild, they'll just sit down on the forest floor and wait for stuff to walk by without noticing that they're there. And a big one could easily eat fully grown rats or even birds. Interesting little frog. Now, Andrea, just kind of put your hands together like this over the table. There you go. Right in your hand. Just kind of keep in mind this animal is like 99% water, so whatever you do, don't squeeze him. That's the situation. One more question. How do you feel about snakes?
Cool.
Cool.
You like them? Okay,
Yeah.
good. I happen to have a snake right here. Now, oh gosh. Now, don't worry, you don't have to hold this one. I just want to put them around your neck. I can't believe I talked right into this. There we go. Nice and snug, a little bit cool, right? You've already lasted longer than most, Andrea. I am impressed.
Mrs. Lizard's going for a walk.
Getting away.
Lizard, that's right. Thanks for stopping by. Remember, that is top speed. You can get very far. Now, okay, Andrea, I put some kind of snake on it. Do you have any idea what kind of snake Cleo is?
No.
Have you ever heard of a snake called a cobra? Familiar with that? No, this is not a cobra. Well, anybody want to take a guess? You guys know?
Now what?
Yeah, ball python or a royal python, they're also called. Neat thing about Cleo is she's fully grown. That's as big as she's going to get. That's interesting, yeah. When you think python, probably something just a little bit different comes to mind, right? Something a little bit larger. But that is one of the smallest kinds of pythons, and they're commonly available in the pet trade, probably for that reason. They just don't get ridiculously huge like other pet snakes. No, they don't bite. They just swallow whole. Now, Andrea, you have done very well. I'm going to go ahead and remove Java from you.
Getting the snake.
Get this thing off your head. You can put your hands down. The frog's fine. There we go. All right. We're in the home stretch. Let's see. Another thing. Take this off here. Everyone is here. The prize for the local assistant. I have a prize for you. I have a moist towel here. Wash the frog pee off your hand. So there you go. You're going to take that. Here, take a lot. Take two. So you may have a seat. Thank you, Andrea, for coming out. You've been a lot of fun, everybody. Now, well, I don't want you guys leaving the show thinking that that all pythons are small like little Cleo. Would you guys like to see something a bit larger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want to.
Yeah.
Get the crowd to turn on. Well, I think I've got something in a size 11 in here. Would you like to meet him? Here he is.
Oh, look at that little. Oh.
Boy.
Boy.
Oh, boy. Yeah. There we go. Kids, say hi to Abe. Abe, say hi to the all-you-can-eat smorgasbord. Now, I have have draped over me what is considered to be the third largest kind of snake on Earth. You might seem small to you right now. After all, he is only 11 feet long and about 60 pounds. But he's still a youngster. He is only 5 years old. Do we have any 5-year-olds in the crowd? Quite a few. All right, well, you probably have some growing to do. At least one of you. So does Abe. The biggest one of these things ever found was 27 feet long, 425 pounds. Yeah. Now, in the wild, when these snakes get large like that, their prey will be animals like deer, gazelle, and antelope, even young water buffalo. Yeah. I mentioned pythons are becoming rather popular pet snakes. I think you can see that there might be a few problems. Let's say you go to the pet shop and you buy something kind of generically marked python, and well, you get the wrong kind. Right? A couple of years down the road with something like an Indian python, like Abe, that's what he is. You know, he's sitting there craving an antelope. For sure the only thing that's around. Yeah. So, maybe if you want a reptile as a pet, what's the best thing to do before you buy anything? Well, check with your mom first, right? Right, moms? Yeah, of course, find out about them. Find out all those little hidden surprises, like how big they get and what they eat, just to make sure you can properly take care of the animal. I think a little bit of really basic research will show you definitely don't want something like Abe roaming around your house. But maybe if you're desperate for a pet snake, something like little Cleo would be more appropriate, just for the size factor, if nothing else. Okay, well, you guys are a snake-friendly crowd, aren't you? You like snakes?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I'm keeping you in mind. Now, get this thing off me. That's the hardest part of the show right there. All right, Dave, thank you for coming. There you go. Okay, well, everybody, it looks like we've opened up all the boxes here. So, well, I guess that's about it. Thanks for coming out. Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. No, you don't want to see this. Now, thanks again. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Malaysia.
I don't have a key for that lock. You really want to see what's in there?
Yeah.
You're not going to leave until I've opened that box, are you? I'm not convinced, though. Are you folks sure you want to see what's in there?
Yeah.
All right. Well, submitted for your approval, a 6-foot, 70-pound lizard by the name of Stuart.
Gila monster.
This is Stuart. Stu, stick your tongue out for the nice young lady there. I love this job. Now, this is a 6-foot long, 70 pounds. To snap those pictures quick, folks, this is deadweight lizard. What is his closest relative? You guys know? One word, willies. Komodo dragon, very good. Those are the biggest lizards in the world. Those things get up to 10 feet long and around 200 pounds. Stuart here is number 2 on the size list. He's what we call a Malayan water monitor. And as a termite and plant, they're really good swimmers. I mean, they spend a lot of time in and around the water. But don't let these stubby little legs fool you. These lizards have been clocked at 12 miles per hour on dry land. It's faster than we can run, folks. Well, I guess it depends on what's chasing us. But anyway, now in the wild, a big monitor like this would be taking down prey as large as pigs and even small deer without any problem. This is not the kind of lizard you want to run into in your backyard, is it? Not likely unless you're living in Southeast Asia. Now, here on the island, Stu's got a pretty relaxed life. Basically, he gets a lot of chicken. We'll give him rats and mice and beef and eggs. But, well, he does have one food. One thing that he loves more than anything else in the whole wide world. Oh, wait, but before I get into that, though, I need one more assistant to come up here and help me out. This time, a brave young man. All right, how about you? Come on up here. There he is. Our final victim. How you doing this afternoon, huh? Yeah, what's your name? Michael. Michael, well, I really didn't mention what Stuart's favorite food was, did I?
Finger.
No, I didn't. There's kind of a reason for that. But you're a happy young man, aren't you? Sure you are. Stuart, I got you a happy meal here. It's a joke. It's a joke. His favorite food is fish. He really likes fish. And I've got some right back here. Would you like to feed Stuart?
Yeah.
Okay, this will be fun. All I need you to do is just take that fish, hold it with your mouth. You're not allowed to hold it with your hand. Just lean over to Stuart, and he's going to just rip it out from your mouth. And everybody get a really cool picture of your last meal. You don't like fish, do you? No, I'm kidding. No, actually, here, let me take that. I happen to have back here for insurance purposes a pair of tongs. You think that'd be appropriate? You see, I could probably lose my job if you lost me party to the face during this thing. So, all right, there you go. Everybody, get your cameras ready. We're going to do one on each side. So, you stand right there. Just kind of get that fish right in front of Stuart's face. I think you can figure it out. Just ignore that music. No! Surprise! Here, let's try that again. Right there, it'll make a ghost fish out of loves that. Perfect. All right, he's coming after you now. The last thing I want to do is tease a lizard this big. All right. Down the hatch. All right, let's flip around. You ready for one more instant replay? Okay. Here we go. And excellent. Stand right over there. Oh, goodness gracious. Down the hatch. Excellent. I will take the tongs. I do need one more thing from you. I need to see your hands real quick. Okay, you started out with 10 fingers today, didn't you? Okay, that's all I need to know. Everybody, a hand for my brave assistant. Thank you for coming up. You may have a seat. Excellent. All right. Well, folks, there is one more thought that I want to leave you with today, and that is a lot of the creatures I've shown you here are disappearing in the wild. In fact, some are disappearing rather quickly. Now, I believe the reptiles are important to have around for all the work that they do. But if nothing else, wouldn't it be a shame to see these incredible animals disappear? Not for one really good thing. So with that, I remind you to please be kind to reptiles. But also, thank you so much for stopping out. You guys have been great. Have a wonderful day here on the island. We'll see you all later.
My name is Forgetful Matt, and I'd like to welcome you. Hope you're having a good day so far. We've got a lot of beautiful birds to show you in the show today. We hope you learn a little bit of something, but we just want to have some fun.
If Alex turns his head all the way around for us today, this is definitely going to be his last show, right? Because his head's going to fall off. He can't do that. He can turn his head about 270 degrees around, almost all the way around, but not quite. And the reason he needs to be able to do that is because owls can't move their eyes in their eye sockets the way that people can. So instead, he has a very flexible neck, and that's what allows him to turn his head like that. Now, owls do come in many different shapes and sizes, and here comes Matt with Gizmo. Gizmo. That's what we wanted. We're begging for it, okay. That little bird is called an eastern screech owl, and isn't he cute? Yeah. Bird's not too bad either, huh? Sorry, Matt. Actually, that little bird is full grown. That's not a baby owl. That's an adult owl. And eastern screech owls come in two different color phases. They come in a red phase and a gray phase. Little Gizmo is the lovely red phase. And you might notice the little things sticking up off the top of Gizmo's head. Well, some people think those are horns or ears, but actually they're just feathers. And Gizmo uses those feathers to make himself look big and tough and scary. Is it working? You guys scared? No? Guess not. Well, we think every little bit helps when you're only 5 inches tall. And Matt's going to tell you a little bit more about that little guy.
Thank you, Barbara and Alex. Good job. Okay. For the next part of the show, with Gizmo, I need a young volunteer who would like to come up on stage with me. I'm going to do a little question and answer and see if we can find out what we've learned so far. How about in the black? The purple hat? Come on over here. Thank you for volunteering. What's your name? Amanda. Okay, Amanda, have you ever held an owl before? Okay, we got a glove for you. Put that on your left hand, if you would, and what you're going to do is put your left hand out nice and flat, just like that, like you're shaking hands with me. There you go. And if you'll hold real still, I'm going to back cute little Gizmo right onto your glove. There we go. There we go. Can you put your thumb in? There we go, just like that. Perfect. Now, Gizmo is going to sit nice and still for you. You just keep your hand like that. Now, what do you think Gizmo feels like? We want to kind of describe it to everybody. Is he light? Is he heavy? Very light. Great answer, Amanda. Gizmo is extremely light. He's almost all feathers. In fact, if you take Gizmo's feathers away, there ain't much Gizmo left underneath all that. He weighs about as much as a cup of coffee if there's no coffee in the cup. He's very, very light. Now, if you look at his head there, his eyes really big, or are they really... He's talking to us. Are his eyes really big, or are they really small for his head? Right, really big. And remember, if you take the feathers away, there's not much head underneath there, so his eyes take up almost all of his space in his skull. So what does that not leave room for? A brain. That's right. So the wise old owl isn't the most accurate saying ever invented. Now, one more thing. Look at his feet. Do those things catch vegetables or insects? Insects, you're exactly right. They've got long, powerful toenails, and that's what they catch and kill their food with. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take little Gizmo back, and I've got a little piece of food for him if you'd like to feed him. Would you want to do that? Okay? It's a worm. Just take it in between your fingers just like that, your right hand. The glove's a little bit too big. There you go. Put it up to Gizmo's face, and he loves mealworms. Yeah! All right. How about a big hand for Amanda and Gizmo? Good job, Amanda.
Well, this bird's name is Shay, and can anybody tell me what kind of bird Shay is? Kookaburra, you are right. This is a kookaburra. It's also known as the largest member of the kingfisher family, and that name kingfisher implies that this guy might like to eat fish. But actually, he prefers to eat things like snakes and lizards, especially lizards. And what he's doing right now, getting all puffy like that, he's taking a little sun bath. I found a good sunny spot on the stage for him. Woo! Tough right up there, buddy. Well, what kookaburras are really famous for, though, is their laugh or vocalization. And everyone here has probably heard that sound before if you've ever seen an old Tarzan movie. They usually have one of these birds sounding off in the background. Well, just a little bit of trivia for you. Tarzan is supposed to take place in Africa. Kookaburras come from Australia. So Hollywood didn't get that quite right, but that's Hollywood for you. Boy, Shay, you're huge, huh? Well, what we've been doing with Shay is we've been trying to train Shay to do that call for us on cue. And the way we get him started is we play a recording of a kookaburra call, and sometimes Shay likes to join in. I think I'm going to stay right here in this nice sunny spot since he's enjoying himself, and we'll go ahead and play that tape and see what Shay wants to do. If you look really close, you probably can see that Shay has a lizard in his mouth now. And actually, oh, there it goes. It's gone. That is kind of how we train this guy. It's called positive reinforcement. Whenever the birds do something that we would like them to do, we give them a reward that hopefully they would really like to have. And that's how we let him know he did a good job, and hopefully he'll do that call for us more often. Well, I think Shay did a great job. How about another hand for Shay?